What's up, everybody? Anthony here, specialtymotorcars.net, and behind me you will see the blazing sun, a beautiful 2003 Oldsmobile Silhouette. This is my wife's pride and joy. I pried it out of her hands. She didn't want to let it go, but she's giving you the opportunity. Yeah, it's ready to go. I've put 500-600 miles on this van. It was a pleasure to drive. It was fun to have, but it's ready for its next home. Its second owner is somewhere out there in the World Wide Web, and I hope it could be you. I'm going to show you this van in depth, all around it. It's all cleaned up, new tires, all that good stuff. Tell you all about this van right here in this video. Let's get into it. And here she is, a beautiful 2003 Oldsmobile, or as my daughter calls it, Oldmobile. Old, and she leaves the S out and then separates the old and mobile. Yeah, neither does my wife know how to say Oldsmobile because she never knew what an Oldsmobile was. Anyways, not trying to date myself here. This 2003 Oldsmobile Silhouette has got just 35,000 miles on it. It's a beautiful one-owner van. You saw my video. I'll put the link right here in this video. Of when I got this van. I surprised my wife for Mother's Day. She was thoroughly impressed, absolutely loved it, was so excited to get it, and then I had to rip it right out from her hands because she wasn't going to let this one go. So please buy it before she changes her mind. Yeah, part of that was true, part of that was not true. But this is a beautiful one-owner van. Had a lot of fun with this van. Like I said in the intro, I put 500-600 miles, I think, on this thing. We took it to Canopy Lake Park as a family. Partly, I have to thank my customers out there for that trip to Canopy Lake. My daughter, because she sold 542 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, she was able to go to Canopy Lake Park. We got 2 free tickets to the park because she was in the 500 club. So I ended up paying for myself. My mother and father went along with us. It's a great local park. If you're in the area, take your family. Canopy Lake Park, beautiful place. Better than Disney, better than all that other hype and BS down in Florida. Anyways, thank you for your Girl Scout cookie contributions. But this old Silhouette was a trooper. We loved it. My daughter loves it. I actually really enjoyed driving it, believe it or not. I don't know, it's just you miss those simple old, and this isn't even that old, 20 years old. Yeah, I get it, it's old, but it's not that old. Like, coming from a 35-year-old, this is what I grew up with. Thankfully, my mother was a station wagon lady, because that's where my station wagon addiction comes from. But this is, you know, my friends' parents had these. I rode in these things. The Chevy Venture versions, Pontiac Montanas. This was the GM U-body platform, and this is absolute GM badge engineering at its finest. This is a Chevy Venture with Oldsmobile intrigue-looking wheels and an Oldsmobile grill and emblems. Like, that's it. I mean, yeah, a couple little other odds and ends, but basic GM badge engineering. This would have been the second to last year of the Oldsmobile Venture, because in 2004, Oldsmobile retired as a brand completely, and they stopped making them. But GM did carry this U-body platform up into the Uplander, and then Pontiac, I forget what they called it, and then there was a Buick version. But basically the same thing, badge engineering. You can see the front bumper is a little different on the Oldsmobile. It's got that Oldsmobile-looking grille, similar to the same era Bravadas. You know, but the body working and underpinnings are very GM, you know, U-body shared across the platform. I love it because it's, you know, it's got what you absolutely need. The dual doors, which, you know, back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, that wasn't really that popular. Some vans only came with one side, which is hard to believe. But this kind of goes back to those roots, which only one side is power operated. That's the passenger side. You know, this was before the time of, you know, in-depth, you know, DVD systems. And, well, I think actually Oldsmobile, these vans were the first vans to come out with the rear DVD system. But that was like in its infancy right here. This van doesn't have the rear DVD system, but you could get these vans You could get them loaded. You could get them with leather. You could get them with the dual sliders. I don't think rear power gates were, a thing. But the basic core of this van is a very simple, easy to work on, inexpensive to own and maintain van. A time gone by, because now every van has, all these crazy features, which is great. I'm not trying to say that, one is better than the other, but it just brings you back to just 20 years ago, how this was like the thing to have. If you were a family or a mother or, parents, you were going to go and buy a family hauler, chances are it was a minivan. SUVs were coming into craze at that point. 03, you got to think the Escalade, the second-gen Escalade had just come out. Suburbans, Tahoe, those big family haulers were out already. But this was kind of like the all-American minivan right here. So it was cool to have, because this just brings back so many childhood memories. Lady down the street, my friend's mother had a Oldsmobile, a Chevy Venture version. I remember hers was the Time Warner or Warner Brothers edition. Had a little Warner Brothers logo and this and that, and it had some other little weird trinkets and things. But anyways, enough rambling about history and childhood enjoyment. This one's for sale, and it's ready to make memories and enjoyment on the open road with you or your family. Great versatile van. I mean, just an inexpensive van just to have if you need a van. I mean, who doesn't need a van in their life? I don't know. Kramer from Seinfeld, he likes vans. Anyways, so 2003, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. 2003 old Silhouette. I'm going to go around this thing, show you a couple little minor little bumps and bruises. Nothing too crazy. Just all, very minor chips and whatnot. We'll start on the front corner here. Real nice, beautiful paint all throughout. This is like a silver, real deep silver metallic paint. You can see kind of right there, a little bit of a dimple right on the top edge of the fender there. Beautiful alloy wheels. I didn't realize it until the guy, my buddy who detailed this, said, are those Oldsmobile Intrigue wheels? And I don't know. You can let me know down in the comments. They look like the wheels that are on an Olds Intrigue. I'm sure it's the same front-wheel drive bolt pattern, but beautiful alloy wheels. No curbing or anything like that on these wheels. I did just put these beautiful Toyo Extensa tires on. Somebody, the previous owners, had just done the brakes recently. It's got Bendix front pads, rotors just done. And I only did tires because the original tires that were on this were Michelin Harmonies, and they were date coded 2011. I drove those 500 miles on those tires. No dry cracking, no dry rotting, no flat spotting, believe it or not. They were great tires. They were just old. And I said, you know what? I feel like for the safe thing to do is to put new tires. It broke my heart to take the tires off because they were such great tires, but they are from 2011. Big giant windshield in great shape. No chips or cracks or divots. Really nothing crazy on this windshield. Get the VIN tag down there. Nice big dashboard. Nice gloss and all the plastic materials here. Down the doors, not a lot of little chips or dings. A few little minor ones I'm going to show throughout the van. Like these just little guys right here on the door handle edge. There was a couple of them right here, little kind of scuffs, but nothing too crazy. Side privacy glass. These ones are manual vent outs. These power vent out. This was kind of before the time of power windows on the vans. Like, your Honda Odysseys today have the power vents, even like the Chryslers and stuff. Vans were kind of a weird thing. One company got up an idea and said, oh, we'll do this and we'll do that. And then everybody else followed suit. And, over time, they evolved. But for the longest time, 80s with the Chryslers into the early 2000s, power windows on the side were not a thing. Like, you were lucky to have power vent windows in the back here, let alone vent windows in general. That was kind of just, that's how they were. You can see all nice and clean in the pinch weld area of the dog leg. The gas cap. Come around here. Again, beautiful alloy wheels. Brand new Toyo Extensa tires. I think those are like 75,000 mile tires. Does have painted to match mud flaps, which I absolutely love. Love painted mud flaps. Already a nice thin layer of polish just from driving it from my shop to here. Beautiful Chevy Venture looking taillights. A couple small little nicks on the bumper. Now this is a one owner Detroit van. A little spot right there. Couple little minor spots there. Pride in ownership, you know, I'm gonna assume the previous owners, elderly couple, silhouettes, were GM, you know, loyal, being Detroit folks. You can see here, already got a little bit of a chip right there. If you remember, this van had a dent here that I had my paintless dent repair service come out. Look at that, huh? Beautiful. Would never even know it was there. Does have a small little scratch right here. Do you remember that? Back glass is in great shape. Oldsmobile. A little bit of a chip right down there. Around the bumper here. Very faint scratch right there. Kind of a little scuff maybe. This is kind of the last of the simple, you know, if you're an 80s, 90s baby, this is definitely tugging at your, you know, I don't want to say heartstrings, but this is definitely tugging at your core memories here. This is unlocking a core memory. There are a couple little minor little chips here, you can see. Not like chipped into the paint, but like almost on the surface. I think a little bit, maybe wet sanding and polishing might take those off. It's not chipped, like you don't catch your fingernail on it. So I want to say something was just dinged into it a few times, which would make sense because there's a lot of little spots right here and right here on this door molding, and a few right on the front here. And then same with these. I know it looks absolutely horrible on camera, but it doesn't really look this bad in person. You can see this painted to match door handle here. A few little chips there, right on these edges. So I want to say something must have kind of dinged or chipped those handle edges, and then maybe the same thing kind of here, and left a few little impressions. But real clean, straight. See those few little marks there on the roof. Got the roof rack. On the rockers, nice and clean. Again, painted to match mud flaps. Toyo Extenza. Birth date 43rd week of 23. Brand new from Tire Rack. Newer front brakes, like I've already said. You can see those dimples are still on there. Did have, where am I looking? Somewhere. Couple little right there. Again, I don't know why it shows so horribly in the video. Looks like deep, but it's not. Whew. Clear headlights, a couple little marks on the bumper, a little scratch there, a couple various little marks throughout. You know, some of this stuff would probably come off, like this blue here, just a little bit of lacquer thinner. A few minor chips in the hood. I think there was one maybe down here, right there. Little scuff there. That looks like a little transfer too. Little scratch there. Front bumper's got a few little, just minor little chips and stuff right there as well. It's never had a front license plate on it, so I did not take the liberty of drilling holes in there. As a car enthusiast myself, I hate it when states make you put two plates on, so I left it clean. Wasn't going to drill some holes just to put my dealer plate on it. But overall, just a really clean survivor van. If you're looking for something to have fun with, take on a road trip, I don't know, annoy your wife like I did, this is it. This is the van. This could be the dad van, the man van, the cheap family vacation van. Vans are, I remember from my used car dealer days when I ran the used car lot, vans were so difficult to find with low mileage and not just torn to shit, because people bring their dogs, their kids, and just trash the hell out of vans, and then trade them in and buy new ones and trash the hell out of new ones. So to find a 20-year-old, this is like the equivalent of finding a old station wagon that, you know, grandma and grandpa had, and kids never farted in the back and, you know, stuck, you know, pencils into the seats and stuff like that. This is a true survivor, I would say. Don't knock me. It's 20 years old. It survived. Find another one, you know. That's the thing. I tried to comp this thing out there on the market to see what was out there for sale. There's like 4 Oldsmobile silhouettes on cars.com. All of them have over 100,000 miles. Same with Chevy Ventures. There was like 14 of them. Nothing out there, you know, under that 185 to 100,000 range. They're all 150, 120,000 miles. Most of them have just been used up at this point. So let's show you the inside of this man van, Chevy van, Oldsmobile van, GM van, whatever you want to call it. We'll take it for a spin after that. All right, now let's take a look inside. And this is where it really brings you back to those simple times of just basic amenities that got you where you had to go and did what it needed to without going crazy over the top. You can see just basic trim inside, but very, very clean. I absolutely love the simplicity inside these jams, nice and clean. It does have a tear here, and it looks like this was attempted to be glued or maybe siliconed at one point, but this door gasket right there has a small tear in it. Otherwise, all the gaskets, nice, soft, supple. You have your dual front windows, locks, and mirrors. That's it. Headlights, automatic, wipers, hazard lights, key, radio. Does have a power driver's seat, power forward, backwards, up, and down. I did notice that this trim piece, this button here, kind of pops out sometimes. It looks like there's a piece of it broken here. I did find one on eBay, a new one, but it's tan, so I'm looking for a black one. But this sometimes pops off, and this trim panel becomes a little loose, but I think a new plug there would fix that perfectly. Carpeting is in nice shape, steering wheel nice shape, dashboard, all that stuff. Again, survivor like van here. You can see the upholstery is in phenomenal shape in this van. No kids, no car seats. Does have the side airbags. This is a manually opening left side slider. You can see again all the upholstery, how clean it is, except for that little thing floating around that. But real clean throughout. All the seats and everything, just super, super nice. You know, it's a telltale sign that kids didn't live in this thing. Cup holders, 2 of them for the second row, and then you got them in the back there. These seats, this is before the time of stow and go, but they do slide forward and back. You can tilt them for easy exit and entry. These back seats, again, just super, super clean. Cup holders back here. Nothing crazy as far as entertainment or anything like that. I mean, the most entertainment you got is whatever this thing is. It looks like you put headphones in there and maybe listening to a different radio station than up front. I'm not sure how that works. You have rear air, which works flawlessly. Yes, have the air coming out both sides to keep your rear passengers cool. Like I said, these seats flip forward, and then you can move them back. Dual armrests on both of them, you know, easy, comfortable access. Though this door isn't power, it does slide very easy and closes very easy as well. Come around to the trunk here, or rear gate or whatever you call these things in vans. Clean in here as well. We do have all four floor mats. Third row, second row, and then the two front rows. I did order a set of NOS. Yeah, hold on. I found a set of new old stock first row because after I had it detailed, I didn't like how the front floor mats were still kind of dirty. And they still show a little bit of tarnishing there. Plus this driver's one has some type of glue or something, like a grease that kind of got baked in there. So I was able to find a new old stock set of gray floor mats. I don't have them yet. They're on their way. I didn't want to hold the van up, you know, take pictures of it, but they actually cleaned up better after I cleaned them myself. But I had already ordered them, so it is going to come with a new old stock set of front ones. You can see not horrible, but a little bit of staining there. It was a lot worse. I went over them myself with my machine and a pressure washer, and it came out much better. But you can see here, nice and clean in the back. I don't know why the cup holders on the back of the seats, I don't know, like you can see them there too. Maybe whoever was sitting back here could have folded this seat down. The thing is you got a cup holder there and there. So if this seat is folded because there's only one person riding here, how many cup holders does that person need? That could be a riddle. 1, 2, 3? I mean, what are we doing? Are we having drinking games? What's going on here? All clean back here. It does have some scuffing, couple spots of like something chafed the door plastic here. Rear speakers. Might have had a cargo net back here at some point. I see anchors for a cargo net. Actually, I don't see anchors for a cargo net. What the heck is that? There's 2 anchors here. There's no anchors there. Then they got these weird little things here. That almost looks like one of those, you know, retractable things that you see in like a hatchback. But there's nowhere to hook it up there. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if anybody owned one of these things when they were new. What accessory am I missing here? Because this makes absolutely no sense. There's anchors there, anchor in the floor. I don't know. What are those for? In here, I don't really understand what this is for. It looks like a pump or some tire thing. But I don't know. You push the button, nothing happens. I don't know if there's supposed to be an accessory pack for that. Looks like some type of inflator. Close that down. This is the power slider. One pull of the handle, bam. Obviously now we got the sun over here, but yeah, let me fold this. Come on. Not easy to do one-handed. Ah! There we go. Fold that down. Show you the back seat here. Carpeting, super nice. So you got the cup holders back there. And I didn't even actually realize in here you got a little storage area for something. Rear air vents. You got 3 in the back, 2 in this middle. Those can be controlled off this here. 2 more cup holders, which actually makes sense because there's no cup holders for these second rowers. Like some vans today have cup holders on the door panels. I want to be careful here. Okay, yeah, it's got the safety thing, but I can't manually close it unless I shut that off. But usually there's cup holders like in these newer vans on the sides here, but GM just said, hey, we'll just put this on the side of the seat. Some map pockets on the back of these seats would have been nice, I think. But this also does have a button here to close the door. But before I do close the door, you can see here nice and clean upholstery, carpeting. Everything is super nice in this interior. Down. Closes. Sweet. Coming in here. These are the jams. I think I forgot to show the jams in here. Close that up. just like all the other seats. This passenger front, super nice, beautiful, like kind of like a, I don't know, what do you call that, like a tweed style upholstery. Manual, of course, because only the driver gets power. Flip up armrests. What this stuff is, I don't know. This is like a tray that slides out. Oop, right there. Kind of dirty in there a little bit. Dusty, I guess, really. Put your cassettes in there. This is like a little cubby hole that no one's ever going to use because you don't even see it from up here. But that's a pretty deep cubby hole. Wow, that's a really deep cubby hole. One accessory outlet. Cup holders. I do have a few buttons here. I guess I should probably show you this while I'm behind the wheel, but hey, why not? This is for your rear air conditioning. You can put it off, you can put it on rear so the rear can control it, or you can be the controller of all good things. Up here, rear wiper, fog lights, simple on and off toggle, traction control, obviously your front climate control, your radio with the ABBA CD. I forgot to give that to my wife, and I don't even know if her car has a CD player, so she's probably not going to listen to it anyways. There's the SPID label. Oldsmobile silhouette van. Oh, what's that? Oh, probably for what do they call that? Cabin air filter. Dashboard, great shape. Got the little thing there to put stuff that's gonna fall over anyways. Looks like maybe they were thinking cup holders in there. I don't know. Power door locks, power windows. But very clean, very presentable. Headliner, all in great shape. All right, let's jump behind the wheel. All right, here's where I show you all the books and keys and all that good stuff. Like I showed you before, in my other video, I got 2 sets of keys with remotes. One of them had this tape on the back. This remote has not been used in several years, but it still works fine. It even has the power sliding button for the passenger sliding door. We're gonna start it up here. That door closed, yep. Let's see here, 35,865 miles. Basic layout of an odometer. You have a temperature gauge, you have a speedometer, and you have a fuel gauge. You have a little message center that gives you, you know, probably service lights or whatever, and then obviously your other little lights, but basic. Oldsmobile Silhouette Owner's Manual. Probably identical to the Chevy Venture, though this one says Oldsmobile Silhouette on it. Does have the manual and books and stuff. I showed you the radio. I showed you all this stuff. We'll go up here and show you. I don't know what this is. This is kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if that's the government listening in on our conversation, or Big Brother GM up there listening in on our conversation. Dual lighted vanity mirrors, which I thought that was actually pretty snazzy for a van to have dual lighted vanity mirrors. OnStar garage door opener. These look like they could pop out and maybe be something else, like depending on how you ordered it. You have a blank here. That's for the rear. Power windows, door again. This can shut that off. Oh, okay, I guess it really shuts it off. Like, off. So that, you know, it doesn't open via power. Interior light override, map lights. You do have some fuel economy, range, 119 miles. I will say this thing got some pretty decent fuel economy. 84 degrees, 18.4, and it's gone down because it's been idling more lately, doing the detail and service work. But I think we were up in like the 20s when we were driving this thing. Like I said, I put some miles on this. Man, I want 505 miles or 520, a little over 500 essentially. Let's take a look under the hood. Pop that hood. Now under the hood here, you have your typical GM of the era, 3.4 liter V8. This is, I believe, a baby or a little sister version to the 3800. Clean, tidy. This van was extremely well serviced throughout its life. Get the prop rod. I did notice this thing goes extremely straight up. I guess in case you ever have to do an engine out repair or replace an engine. There's a catalyst sticker there. Everything is in good shape. One thing I did notice is you can see this rubber here kind of distorted. I think just its entire life it's kind of been like out a little bit. You can see where it rubbed there. But when you close it, it kind of sticks out a little bit. You try to roll it under. Minor, I know, but just thought I'd point it out. Yeah, and I wanted to point those scratches out. You can really barely see it when you get up close. Where is it? Right there. I don't know why it kind of magnified so much depending on the angle, but walking by it, you barely see it. Same with the little chips and scratches in the door there. You can see them right there, but not really that bad. AC is ice cold even in the back there. That's not a fluid leak. That's the rear air conditioning running. All right, let's take her for a spin down memory lane. All right, pop it into gear there. Got automatic door locks, and we are off. This thing just drives and rides so well, so smooth. And vans are just typically like that because they ride lower than SUVs. You sit at a real comfortable position. Actually, if I back this a little bit, there we go. And I know that LED is flashing like crazy further away. If I have to explain myself again on why that does that, I'm gonna go crazy. The one thing that's really neat about this van, it's got the old style wipers that like open up like that. Beep, 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 beep. Kind of a good idea actually, especially for a giant windshield like this. All right, take her out on the road. She runs and drives great. This van needed minimal service. Your next oil change isn't due until 40,000 miles. It just had an oil change. It just had front brakes done. Like I said, I had tires put on it, and that was just because of the date, really. It didn't need tires. Honestly, for someone who's just going to tool around town with it, they would have been perfect, but, you know, they were just too old. If it was my van, and I was keeping it at my, in my collection or something, I wouldn't care because I drive so local with my cars. But you know what? Tires aren't super expensive. They were $225, 60/16 this size, so that wasn't bad at all. She does everything just as intended. Stops nice, drives nice. Like I said, we've had it up on the highway. We took it up to Canopy, which is actually just a few exits up from my shop. And we're on the highway. Another cool thing that this van is like I said, a really well serviced van. Serviced at the dealership. I believe when I bought this, if I remember right, it had like 13 oil changes reported on the Carfax. I think it had like 3 coolant flushes, maybe 1 transmission service. So, they were very good with it. 35,000 miles. It hasn't gone a far distance, but the oil was changed regularly. Like I said, this last oil change that they did, 2/28 of 24. That's when it's due. So I'd do it 40,000 miles. It's got 35,800 now. But yeah, it's just really well cared for, well loved. All right, let's see if we can get cruise control set here. We're at 60. And cruise does work because I used it, but there's no cruise on light. Like, I don't know if there's supposed to be. I thought that was kind of strange. It usually says cruise or engage, but I don't know, it works. It accelerates. You know, obviously you can shut it off. It's got the old style GM stock, which I love. That was like that in like the 80s and 90s. Just really cool, you know, time capsule van. Honestly, I don't know who's out there who's looking for something like this. You know, when I get kind of the offbeat cars and trucks or vans or SUVs like this, I'm always excited to hear, you know, the next owner's plans, you know, with my conversion vans, or like when I had that little Pontiac Vibe, I sold that to a repeat customer who just wanted a nice clean car for her son. Obviously this might not be the most ideal first car or cheap car for a kid, but it's definitely a cool people hauler. If you need a van for, like, you know, a condo down in Florida, don't want to spend $1 million, you want to have a nice, solid, reliable van, perfect. I don't know, you're going on a road trip or something, you get a haul, you don't want to go out and rent, perfect. I mean, it's like you could buy it, drive it, and then sell it again. I don't know. I'm excited to see the next owner, what their plans are for this Chevy Oldsmobile Silhouette U-Body van. Any questions, give me a call, 978-930-1004. My name is Anthony. SpecialtyMotorcars.net is my website. Any questions, like I said, anytime, give me a holler. And don't let distance stop you from getting your dream van in your driveway, because I can help you get it delivered right to your front door. Not a problem. I've been on a good streak lately, getting cars moved, usually to my customer's house within a week of them buying them. So I'm excited to rehome this thing to its next owner. Two of the reasons, like I said earlier in this video or in the intro or some point, I don't know, I thought I mentioned it. I had my fun with it. It was an itch I wanted to scratch because this is my era. You know, I'm a 90s baby. So that itch has been scratched, and my daughter is away on vacation, and she is going to be devastated to know that I sold this van. And I'm not actually joking about that. I've driven her to school every day since I've had this in this van, other than one day. And the one day that I did not drive her, I drove her in a Grand Marquis. And as soon as she came out the front door, Daddy, did you sell the Oldsmobile or the Oldmobile? I'm like, no, honey, I'm just getting tires put on it. Oh, okay, you're not going to sell it, right? Nope, I promise, because in that last video, that was not like over dramatized. She was upset, ran around the house crying that, like, I was going to sell this thing. So she's away on vacation with my mom and dad down in North Carolina. Today's Sunday, day before Memorial Day. You're going to see this tomorrow, Memorial Day. She's not going to be back till Wednesday. I'd love to sell this thing and have her completely forget about it, hopefully. So I'm hoping to do that before she comes home. Any questions, give me a call, 978-930-1004. Price on the Oldsmobile. We're going to ask $99.95 for this one. Again, any questions, 978-930-1004. And I hope everybody is enjoying their Memorial Day weekend and remembering why we have this day off, and remembering to all those who have sacrificed to give us this beautiful, free country that we live in. That now you look on the news today and it's just, I don't think people really understand how good we have it here, and the people that fought for us to have this good. You know, I'm not trying to get political or anything like that or ramble on anymore, but the craziness that's going on in the news with these protests and all this stuff going on, land of the free, home of the brave, thank you for all those who have served to protect us. Thank you for all those who continue to serve to this day. Anyways, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you on the next one.